Hi. Over the last 2 years, I lost 180 pounds. When I tell people that, they always ask, "What's your secret?" I usually answer with something like, "No secret, just diet, exercise, consistency, and time." You know, the boring stuff that your doctor tells you to do. But after I finished my diet at the end of last year, 2024, I was doing some reflection and realized that that really doesn't do it justice. So I'd like to share with you some reflections, some lessons, and some advice that I've incorporated into my life over the last 2 years on my health journey, and I hope you'll take a moment to sit with me and hear what I have to say. I've never been one for New Year's resolutions. In January 2023, a couple weeks into January 2023, I decided to start eating less and losing weight. From the start, I told myself it's not a New Year's resolution. It helped that I was about 2 weeks late, but that it was instead a lifestyle change. 2 years later, I've lost 180 pounds, changed industries and careers, transformed both my physical and mental health, and significantly improved my quality of life in every appreciable way. Now, don't worry. I know what you're thinking. This video isn't to sell you anything. There's no courses, no pill, no referral links, no calls to action. In all honesty, I don't really know why I'm doing this video. A bit of self-reflection. But I've made a list of some lessons that I've learned and principles that I've incorporated into my life. Some of them are practical and some are philosophical. So please take a moment to sit and reflect with me, and I hope you can find value in these lessons as I have. Lesson number 1, sleep is everything. I put this at the top of my list because it benefits everything else massively, and sacrificing sleep for short-term gain elsewhere often leads to a net loss overall. Everything is downstream from sleep. Lesson number 2, do hard things. Do things you don't like doing. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. This may seem obvious, but it's good to try new things, go to new places, meet new people, and just say yes to things that get you outside of your comfort zone. Lesson number 3, mental health and physical health are inextricably linked. For some, this may seem obvious, but for me, it was a massive, unexpected benefit. I've been all over the spectrum in terms of taking care of myself, from eating absurd amounts of processed junk food with no regard for calories or nutrition, to tracking every crumb of food and drop of drink that enters my mouth. I will always be a strong advocate of calorie and macro tracking. This, more than anything else, is the reason for my success in weight loss, and it nicely transitions me to my next lesson learned. What gets measured gets managed. This applies to so much more than just calorie tracking, but that's what served as my foundation. After 6 months of moderate success with simple portion control, resulting in my weight dropping from around 370 pounds to 330, I hit a plateau. My solution to break this plateau was to begin calorie tracking using MyFitnessPal to get more granular and accurately track my calorie and macronutrient intake. Now, I won't go on about this too long, but there is truly endless debate about what vitamins and nutrients are most important for weight loss. What I found worked for me and what fit my goals of losing fat while maintaining and trying to gain muscle was to set a weight loss target of 2 pounds a week, prioritizing hitting between 125 and 175 grams of protein every day, depending on my level of physical activity, as well as ensuring I get an adequate amount of fiber to aid in proper digestion. The vast majority of people are fiber deficient. Most people just don't know it. Okay. Lesson number 5, be physically active every day. Rowing is my exercise of choice. It's great for people with back and knee issues like me, but it doesn't really matter exactly what you're doing. Just do something that gets your blood pumping on a regular basis. It'll be difficult at first, but you gotta just push through that first month and then it gets a lot easier. I chose to invest in a secondhand rowing machine, or erg, so I could work out at home. I found this made it easier for me to fit exercise into my schedule. I do it more consistently, and yeah, it was expensive, but I consider it the best $700 I've ever spent. And I think they're cheaper now. That was, height of pandemic prices. If your goal is weight loss, I highly recommend some kind of cardio, preferably something that isn't made more difficult by your body weight. So I'd exclude things like running and, those kinds of things. And something that isn't hard on your back or lower body joints, just to prevent delays due to injury. That can really derail you if you hurt yourself and you can't exercise anymore. I heard this put in a way that really resonated with me. I'll have to read my notes for this, as I have for most of this. Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, The Dark Knight, and The Godfather. All of these movies are approximately 2.5 hours long. The CDC recommends adults get at least 150 minutes or 2.5 hours of exercise every week. If you could watch one of these movies over the span of a week, every week, and materially improve your life by a drastic margin, would you do it? Of course you would. So do it. Work out 150 minutes a week in whatever way you need to break that up. Watch a movie while you do it if that helps, because believe me, it's worth it. Lesson number 6, don't accept your own excuses. This was not my first time trying to lose weight. It wasn't my first time trying to track calories either. It was, however, the first time I made a real, conscious, consistent effort to not accept my own excuses. I'll have to spend so much money on new clothes. I'll have to replace the thousands of dollars of motorcycle gear I've collected over years. It will take me at least 2 years to do it. These are just some of the things that I told myself and had stopped me in the past. In hindsight, these are horrible excuses and horrible reasons to not get healthy. I had to sit down and have an honest conversation with myself. I realized some hard truths. I may be young now, but I'm getting older. The longer I wait, the more weight I'll have to lose, and the more overweight I am, the longer it will take and the harder it will be. The longer I stay overweight, the more physical wear and tear I'll be putting on my body. At 21, I already had consistent and severe back pain, knee pain, and foot pain. This is not normal. It's having a significant negative impact on my quality of life and my mental health, and is certainly not good and not getting better. I'd like to share something that helps me get over one of the biggest mental hurdles, that being how long it would take to lose the weight once I did the math. A long time ago, my grandma was considering going back to university in her 40s, after having raised her family and with her first grandkid on the way. She too was concerned about how long it would take. In her case, it was to get her degree. My grandpa told her something that has stuck with me ever since I first heard this story, and never ceases to be a fantastic motivator in my life. Yes, it will take a long time, but that time is going to pass whether you do it or not. What you need to ask yourself is, where will you be in 4 years if you do it, and where will you be in 4 years if you don't? That can be any amount of time for you. I'm going to repeat that again because I know somebody needs to hear it. Where will you be in 4 years if you do it, and where will you be in 4 years if you don't? I can't tell you how many times I've asked myself that question when considering a big change that wouldn't materialize for a long time, but the start of my weight loss journey was certainly one of the most impactful moments. Thank you, Grandpa. I'm going to try to keep the rest of this brief, because those first ones, I know I waffled on for a bit. Lesson number 7. Focus is the modern currency. Focus is your time. This is something I'm still working on, but in today's age, we have so many things competing for our attention at all times. I encourage you to take note and be mindful of the distractions in your life that take time and focus away from the things that truly matter to you, which leads me into my next lesson. Nuke your notifications. Tech companies have hired some of the smartest people from all kinds of fields, psychologists, biologists, all with the purpose of keeping you hooked on your phone, on their app, on technology, whatever it is. So pause this video and do this right now. Go through your phone, your computer, your smartwatch, your fridge, your toaster, everything, and turn off every notification. Then go back and turn on your notifications for only the apps in the highest echelon of importance. Lesson number 9. Assume the best intentions of others. Don't read into it. How many times have you been dwelling on something someone else said late at night, whether it was in person, over the phone, or perhaps most often over text, wondering if they were being passive-aggressive or if there was some hidden jab behind their words? You'll save yourself an immeasurable amount of time, stress, anxiety, and emotion, and likely be a happier person if you simply assume people are coming from a place of positivity, unless they give you a clear and obvious indication that they are not. I've thought of this as going through life like a golden retriever. And if we're being honest, is anybody really happier than a golden retriever? Lesson number 10. Don't miss out on the garden because you found a flaw in the gate. Assume you like things and go from there. This is one I definitely stole from James Pumphrey. Check him out on YouTube. You'll hate yourself if you go through life turning your nose up at anything just because you found a little imperfection in it. Nothing's perfect, but don't let that stop you from experiencing it. Okay, we're back to health and fitness for a little while here. Lesson number 11 is to train your willpower. Practice intentional abstinence by denying yourself a comfort for some amount of time. I recommend a month. Some examples of this are things like dry January or sober October, or maybe it's, quitting pot for a month or not eating junk food for a month or whatever that thing is for you that you struggle with or that you go to when you need some sort of comfort. We all have one. If you can't make it a month without it, I have bad news for you. It's not a comfort, it's an addiction. At the end of that month, have an honest conversation with yourself and ask yourself if your life, health, or mental state is better for having cut out whatever it is that you cut out. If it is, that doesn't mean you can never have it again, but continue to train your willpower by reducing how much of it you have or how often or both. Lesson number 12. Break down your goals into a daily habit. This is the simplest and easiest way to achieve your goals. Do you want to read a book you've had sitting on your shelf for years? Read one chapter every day, or even just one page. Whatever is manageable for you, but make sure you're making consistent progress every day. Say you want to lose 50 pounds. Break that down into a daily goal. A pound of fat is 3,500 calories. Track your calories and maintain a consistent calorie deficit of 500 calories per day. A deficit of 500 calories a day is 3,500 calories a week, about 1 pound a week. Do that every week for a year, and you'll have a calorie deficit of a whopping 182,500 calories, an amount equal to just over 52 pounds of fat. Oftentimes, people find out cutting out or cutting down on alcohol alone gets them most of the way to that goal. Lesson number 13, use it or lose it. Throughout all of the health-related research and information I reviewed during my health journey, I noticed a common thread: use it or lose it. This applies to both your body and your mind. If you don't use and challenge your body and mind on a regular basis, it will wither away. This is believed to be a big factor in the general physical and mental deterioration of older folks and the onset of dementia, Alzheimer's, and other memory-related diseases, especially after they retire and are no longer forced to learn new things, adapt to changes, and maintain a baseline level of physical activity. Lesson number 14, find common ground. Put yourself in their shoes. This is just a general piece of advice for dealing with people, especially when your interests or positions don't align. Put yourself in their shoes. Try to figure out why they want what they want and what might be motivating them, rather than just what they're saying or asking for. This will take you far in life. Lesson number 15. Learn how things work. Learn new things. Learn how to do things. Never stop learning. Try to gain a base understanding of as many things as you can. Things like how your car works, how banking works, how economic markets work, how computers work and how to use them in new ways, how new technology works, how the climate and weather works. I could go on and on forever, but I think you got my point. Always work on some form of self-improvement, whether big or small, and never stop learning. Lesson number 16, do the little thing now. Pay that parking ticket, respond to that email, take out the trash. Don't allow the little things in life to pile up and cause you to be paralyzed by the minutiae. Lesson number 17, create a positive perspective. Did you fail or did you learn something? Did you get stronger for trying? Earlier, I shared I've never been one for New Year's resolutions. I think a big part of that is because I feel they're too easy to quit by the nature of them being New Year's resolutions. So many people fail and give up on their New Year's resolutions, so people think it's okay for them to do the same. If you've made it this far into the video, you likely have something you've been wanting to change in your life. So I give you this challenge. Don't make a resolution, make a lifestyle change. Not for a week, not for a month, not for a year, for the rest of your life. I'll give you one more piece of motivation. The first month is always the hardest when trying to change or form a habit. If you can make it through the first month, you can make it through the first year. And if you can make it through the first year, you can make it through the rest of your life. I know I said I wasn't going to try to sell you on anything, but I'm a realtor. And it's against every fiber of my being to not tell you that I'm a realtor. So, if you think I'm someone you could get along with, and you're looking to buy or sell a house, consider reaching out. I can help you, or I can point you in the right direction of someone else who can if you're not in my area.